one who came and got my backpack. Are we
You're
live?
lying.
Hi.
I was gonna say
The
something.
only one. Free Chris Jones. Romney, West Virginia. The jury made a bad call. Chris Jones is an innocent man, and he needs your support. We need to free him.
I'm just testing the audio.
We gotta clip that.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. You can hear me.
Yeah,
Hey, good
YouTube.
evening.
YouTube, what's up?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Open Mic Live at Crescendo Studios. We're here today with the one and only Teekae, who is
TEE to the KAE.
a camera favorite, a Preach with Prak favorite. He's a good friend of mine. He is a great entertainer here at Crescendo, at Open Mic, or just in general. And if you don't know his music, guys, you're missing out. He talks, he raps, he spits, he delivers a lot about sobriety and finding himself. And he really believes that if he passes on this message to the next person, they just might find themselves as well and find their way out of addiction.
That's it. And I'm the first artist to be featured in Preach with Prak's Razzed Up series in my song Alchemy.
Yes,
At
yes.
the end of every Razzed Up video, you'll hear a little snippet of music.
Truly blessed
That's
indeed.
Prak's favorite. But I got about 50 songs out and about 50 songs waiting to come out,
Yeah.
and about 100,000 songs in my head.
Yeah.
And my only goal on this earth is to die empty.
But release as much,
Get as much of it out of my
not
head.
not as much music, but as much stories through your music, and reach as many souls who are finding themselves drowning in addiction, because TK sure as hell knew about that world.
Have I ever told you about the mission statement for my record label?
No, what is it?
So at Neoclassic Records,
Neoclassic.
our vision was, when we started 3 years ago, and we started actually the day I got out of a coma.
Yeah,
When,
we talked
when
about
I had my last drink, and we talked about that in our first episode. But our vision then, our mission statement, was to empower people, to empower people to save the world
Yeah.
through the transformative force of art, or just to save the world through the transformative force of art. And I had a conversation with my barber, and he hit me over the head with something. He said, "This is the problem with you."
Yeah.
He said, "Everybody wants to save the world. You're just like everybody else."
Yeah.
And I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "See, like, look at the wars in the world and all the injustice. All those people think that they're saving the world. Nobody wants to save the people." And I took that and I took it home. And now our newest upgraded mission is to empower people to save themselves through the transformative force of art. Because you can't save them. You have to empower them to save themselves. We all have to save ourselves.
Yeah. That's the only way.
It's like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to
They want force it to drink. Yeah, we have that saying in Nepali as well. I can't believe you said that shit. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what your music does, right, TK?
I would
You're
like to
out
hope
there.
so.
Yeah.
It's at least a good soundtrack to do it to.
That's how we find ourselves in this space. We're both just trying to convince the next person or whoever is listening that it really is worth it on the other side.
That's what it did for me. You know, at the inside cover of my Metamorphosis album, there's a saying. It talks about, let me read it word for word, because I truly believe it was like divinely inspired. Like when I was like, I need to write like a short description about this album.
Yeah.
I prayed to God, and it says, sometimes living in this world, it can be difficult to differentiate God's voice from my own self-will. Only now in full sobriety is the loving voice of God audible to me. Change is life's only constant. That used to scare me. Though as my story unfolded, it was clear there was a common thread of synchronicity, guiding me towards a better way of life, a metamorphosis. Written over the course of my lifetime, an evolution is expressed in this album. 9 songs broken into 3 segments. My experience, strength, and hope. As I created it, I prayed it could change one life. Little did I know it would be mine.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned God in this.
I always mention God.
In the multiple, you mentioned God, and I have a friend who is in and out with this addiction, right? And sometimes um, how much of your, how much of you coming out of your addiction, right? How much of it was your efforts with the help of God, or how much was it just God? You see what I'm
Such a good question. Um, I want to say 50-50, but I think that that's my own self will, right? Like, there's a saying in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, it's God's either everything or he's nothing. What is your choice to be? And by my own self will run riot, I was my own God in those last moments. And it ended up with me in a hospital bed and in a coma, and I met my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in that white room experience. So for me, I was one of the ones who had like a sudden and spectacular spiritual upheaval, and I was told verbatim because I'm hard headed. If I ever drink again, I'm never going to see him again. But I still don't believe that God is the one that keeps me sober. God gave me free will. So at the end of the day, I have to take personal responsibility and exercise my free will for the good.
Yeah.
But it took like a lot of like getting broken down and beaten up,
Yeah.
and hopefully like my story, people can avoid that near death experience.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's such a good question, right? Because it goes back and forth. But I get help. Like if I pray and I ask God to help me, I do every day still. I
Like
pray God and I
sometimes
ask Him
there's
to
the
help me.
idea that like if I just sit around, God's gonna notice me and God's gonna give me, give me the support. But I feel like the relationship is more, let me try, and there's gonna be that luck or that chance or that effort, that grace involved.
So there's a saying about a guy who gets like in a shipwreck and he gets stranded.
Noah?
And no,
Jonah.
not in the Bible. Just
Okay.
like this is just like a story that we hear around the rooms or whatever.
Okay.
He's paddling and he's like, God save me, God save me. And he's praying and treading water, and another boat comes by and they're like, oh, we can help take you to shore. And he's like, no, God's gonna save me. Thank you though.
But that
and then,
that was it.
And then a raft comes by.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we can take you to shore. And he's like, no, God's going to save me. And he drowns and dies. And he gets up to heaven. He's like, God, I thought you were going to save me. He's like, I sent you a boat and a raft.
Yeah. Exactly. It's through people, it's through chances, it's through instances that God comes. But I think the effort does come initially from yourself.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think you can't just sit around in a vacuum and expect anything in your life to change.
Right? Yeah.
I couldn't.
No, it doesn't work that way. It takes a little bit of seed growing, and
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I was excellent on the stage.
And you weren't, like, changing the subject here, like, you weren't, like, one of those people who was, like, born, like with a silver spoon, like, with money or anything
No,
like that?
no.
You had to earn all your own money growing up, buy your own first car and everything like that.
Buy my own first car. My parents loved us and tried their best to give us the best life that they could.
Yeah.
Because I feel like not everybody has that privilege.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, you don't realize those things until as you get older, you begin to see how much your parents do. So no, my parents tried their best. They loved me, and I always thought the world was a beautiful place with some bad people on it. But some people grow up thinking the world's an evil place, and maybe a few good people on it. But I came up on the other end. Um, but they earned their way through, and it feels nice to earn my way through as well.
Yeah.
They tried to make my life comfortable, and at some point I have to say no. Like I also want to roll up my sleeves and earn it.
I think the reason I asked is I saw a Tesla today that had like a please be wait patient student driver. Like, I mean that's Northern Virginia for you, but like I mean I got my first car from my mom. It was a Mercedes, but it was like a 1996 like beater that had been laying around, and I totaled it and like didn't like learn how to drive and everything. But
Yeah.
like then I had to like work for myself, and like I'm thankful for that stuff today.
You care for your stuff even
Yeah.
more when you work for it. I was just listening to the podcast that said that. You care for it more when it's not given to you.
And I don't know how I changed the subject. I guess what I was getting at is it's taught me that God provides everything I need. Like, I don't remember the last time I prayed for my basic needs. Going back to sober, like getting sober, like when I first got sober, I was living in the studio. I wasn't supposed to be. It was like an office building. There's a garage. I had a pull-out couch in there. I had a gym membership, so there's no shower. I would have to go to the gym and shower every day, and I was living on a pull-out couch in the converted garage in the recording studio where I recorded the album. And I was unemployable. Like I couldn't work. I couldn't even move my hand. Like I was a low bottom. Like when I came out of that coma, I was messed up bad. And
it almost sounds like you had a choice to continue shitting on yourself.
Yeah, it would have
not be a victim, but it's kind of like, well, this is it.
It would have
kind of
been
like, no, I'm gonna change it around.
It would have been easier to continue to drink and use than it would have been
numb yourself.
Well, and just give up. Than it would have been to fight for my life in that moment.
Yeah.
But I continued to be around people who had the solution in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and outside of Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. And I would spend 7 hours a day just working on myself, not working at all. Yeah. And somehow I always got enough money for food, gas, rent.
Somehow.
And at the end of the year, I remember I had one job that whole year, and I made like $14,000, and I did my taxes, and I looked back, and I was like, holy shit, I survived off $14,000. Yeah, and it was like the mental flip of like, instead of like beating myself up because I only made $14,000, I was like, I can survive off of $14,000, and I know I have the potential to make $100,000 a year. Yeah. So I can get ahead in this. Like I'm doing the math, and now I'm feeling like real good about everything in my life.
You had like you just said that you had people who you could count on for support. Do you think that everybody in that space always has that one person who's a voice of reason, or at that moment do you think in that very low moment of their life, right? Or do you think if maybe you saw the bottle as half full rather than half empty, were there others that you could? Was there a space in that space where if you wanted to drink and drug and just ruin yourself some more, that opportunity was?
Oh yeah, there were more people that would have co-signed that closer to me than there were that actually wanted to see me do well. But what's interesting is the people that wanted to see me do well, they knew again that they could lead me to the water, but they couldn't force me to drink. So they would tell me what they did. And what's interesting about it is most of what you find is what they did is they helped others. And so even like day one of being newly sober, you can still make coffee. Like you can help others. You can sweep and clean bathrooms. Yeah. You can be of service to others. And when you're of service to others, then you get outside of yourself and it actually helps.
And sometimes helping others can just be being generous.
Holding the door for something.
Not like with money, with your time, with your energy, with your thoughts, with your anything. And once you be part of somebody else, then you realize what you are.
Yeah, now I'm like addicted to helping others. Like, I love it. Like I get the most satisfaction on any given day if I can do something kind for another person. And like.
Okay then, today, how are you kind to yourself? Today, just one.
Well, I got up slow, so I've stopped ever since you asked me that question about where do I sleep with my phone.
Actually, where is your phone located before going to bed?
I've moved it.
I incepted it into your thoughts.
Yes! And now it's in the kitchen, and I wake up extra slow. Like I stretch, I open the windows, I listen to the birds, I cuddle my girl and my dog.
Yes, yeah.
And I pray and I thank God before I ever like get into this thing. Because any given day, this thing will have,
the feed.
I'll shut off the notifications at 9 and I'll get 5, 10 texts and a bunch of messages on email and Instagram and everything. And so. Yes. And then I'm like thinking content, so it's easy for me to get sucked into the metaverse real quick. So I guess to being kind to myself, today I woke up slow. I would say would be that's a good question. Way to flip it back because helping myself is
it's a big one. Today.
And it's usually the last thought.
Big one.
But I told you I started running. That's been.
But I know you started, but I flipped it and I made it like a daily routine where I said Today,
I didn't run today. Yeah.
It's okay, but you woke up slow and you take care of your mind.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah,
I
because
like taking hot baths too.
was that a hot bath today? Well, after
No,
your
not
runs,
today.
after your runs,
Not
probably.
today, it won't be. But after my runs, I take.
Hey, share with people why are
Have
you
some salt
tormenting
buns.
yourself by committing to a marathon, TK? Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a masochist. I love being in pain. No, I think
You get runner's high though, you know, after like a good amount of miles.
yeah, I think that it's interesting because I grew up playing basketball, and pretty much every coach I had would treat running as punishment. Like go to the yeah. I remember specifically one time we lost by like more than 10, and that was his big thing. We could never lose by more than 10, and we pulled in.
What sport was this?
Basketball.
Were you a basketball player?
Yeah,
Serious,
I played
huh?
all through high school. But we lost by more than 10, and we got into the gym, and the baskets were up, and there were no balls, and he was standing there with a stopwatch and a whistle.
Samuel L. Jackson on Coach Carter.
We did suicides literally for the whole time. Should we just invite her in?
Yeah, she can come and chill.
Alright, let's invite her in. Hey! Hey!
Oh, I wish you had a nice chair for her.
She can have that chair.
Hi, you coming in?
Hey.
You're gonna be in the podcast.
No.
Well, sit
Oh,
down.
come on, just chill with us. I'll change the camera layout. TK said he'll take the terrible
take care of
chair
it.
and you can have the nice chair.
Okay, cool. What's up?
That's nice.
We were
TK
talking
was
about
just
being
talking.
kind to ourselves.
You were talking?
Yeah, why don't you sit down and lay it out and we'll go to the question with you.
Oh my
Now
gosh.
the attention's off me. Hi.
Hi. That's TK's girlfriend and you can just, that's your camera right there. You can say hi to everybody.
This camera.
He had just mentioned you.
Oh, that's
Because
weird.
I had asked him, because he said now he's addicted to being nice to people. Okay, that's like his new addiction. So then I said, well, TK,
Selfishly.
today, how were you nice to yourself? And then he said, I woke up slowly, and I prayed, I stretched, and I kissed my girlfriend good morning. Or
Aw.
something along those lines.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. I say so.
So, how were you nice to yourself today? I know now that you're here seated.
I treated myself to Starbucks. I got the spinach feta wrap too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
food too.
Yeah.
That's the kicker
That's
right
your
there.
breakfast.
Yeah.
That's your breakfast.
Had a
Okay.
long day at work, so I just figured, got a carb load, you know, gotta get some food in.
She's been
Yeah.
running too. I inspired her running now.
Yeah,
Are you guys running together, training together?
a little bit, yeah.
But she's not going to do the Roanoke Marathon.
10K for me.
Okay, they usually have the 5Ks, the 10Ks.
Yeah.
So I'm doing one in October. It's called the
Shamrock?
West Virginia Trilogy. So day 1 they do a 50K, which is 31 miles. Day 2 they do a 50-mile race, and then day 3 they do a half marathon. So I'm gonna do day 2. I'm gonna do the 50-mile race, and I told her if she signs up for that as her first half marathon, I'll go do day 3 too, and I'll do 13 on one right after I do 50 miles.
I only have to do double of what, what
Yeah,
10K
yeah.
is, it'll be fine.
So are you
Yeah,
gonna,
10K is
are
like
you gonna
6.
sign up? Are you gonna tell the camera that you're
Yeah, we'll clip
I
it.
don't like being on camera. I like being behind the camera.
Okay. You heard me. I just didn't want to.
And then I was
Wait,
telling
too
him
long.
you got
We're
good
gonna walk away.
broadcast features, and he said you also say that to him.
About what?
He's got good broadcast features, like
Yeah.
to be on camera. Because he showed me the AI him.
So
TK
hot.
one, and I said, oh my gosh. I said, you almost look like the M&M from like Northern Virginia. I said, this is really
It's
cool.
the chain. It's the chain.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah, TK is hot.
Yeah.
TK coming to TikTok. That's all that TikTok's gonna get anymore, actually.
So yeah, he
You
was
gotta
saying,
go to the secret neoclassic server that we haven't announced yet if you want the real TK, or you gotta come in. You would preach with Prak.
we appreciate Prak.
Are you gonna tell them about the
the show?
show?
Well, TK will be participating in the show. There's a show that's coming up. You're please more than welcome to participate. Because I can't do it by myself. It works better if there are other minds engaged,
Yeah.
other thoughts engaged. So the show's gonna go on sometime soon.
Show must go on.
It has to, and I know I can count on TK's support for sure, and his mind and his thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm broadcasting it slowly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, that's the next. in line because at Preacher Club we talk a lot about our last stuff, is rise and shine to your purpose. The only way to sort of put that in motion is to get other people's thoughts and minds
Yeah.
involved. Yeah,
Community. That's what it's at.
exactly.
We were
Community
talking about
mind.
that last night.
Is that right?
Community, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys run together?
Yep.
Are you taking care of your knees?
Yeah, man.
Do you want because runners need?
Not my knees. Nope.
Watch out. Yeah, because that really.
They hurt only when it's cold sometimes, but you just run through it.
I get runner's itch.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's literally just because your like capillaries are not used to like your body doing this. So it's like your blood vessels
Yeah.
are like coming to like they're like working extra hard.
Gotcha.
And especially when it's cold out, it produces this itch. I looked it up. Okay, Google is a crazy thing. Like, what do we do?
You found
We
your
look up shit
community.
like this.
You found your community.
I'm like, I'm a runner with the itches.
Yeah. I know Teekae usually exercises, but running is new. Do you also usually go to the gym and stuff like that? And
We would go together like here and there, and like I used to go before we moved
Yeah.
in together and more like regularly, and then we kind of started going to the gym together
Together.
eventually after we moved in and so
Yeah.
I got into this guy named Cam Haynes, and he is like an elk hunter, like a bow hunter,
Okay.
and like that's how I ended up down this whole running rabbit hole.
Because he started doing it.
Well, you have to be able to like run after these animals to hunt them, and then like your legs have to be really strong to tap them out.
Yeah.
So like I need to like get back into lifting,
Yeah.
because that's one of my goals now. I want to like go up in the mountains and like take down like a big bull elk
Yeah.
and bring it down in cooler.
Okay.
And hang it
Yeah.
up on the wall. And she was looking at the wall.
Yeah, you have it like in your apartment or in your home, right?
No,
Or
but
like-
hang it in Prak studio.
the what is this called? The horns?
The antlers.
The antlers. They're pretty long ones. Yeah.
They're delicious.
Um,
You're a vegetarian though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you.
Yeah, pescatarian.
Are you a
I eat
pescatarian?
fish.
Yeah, no, I know that one. That was me like in college. Yeah, I tried
Yeah.
pescatarian. I didn't know that existed, and then I found out because I still like it at the time. Do you notice a difference between gym and now that you're committed to long distance running
Yeah, I mean, well,
in terms of like
I love the running.
I think that
you're on the runner side?
Therapeutic AF.
Yeah.
so I think that the big difference is like, well, for me is like the endurance, right? Like you can get a good workout in the gym in like an hour and be done, but like
Yeah, you're already right.
on May 31st, I'll probably be running for like 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And like you gotta eat while you do it, you gotta drink. So it's like this connection with like that higher power, God, that we were talking about before, that like he's gotta pull me through it. And like I've created a mantra. It's like, please like help me have the strength to go the distance.
Yeah.
I didn't come this far to come this far.
Yeah.
Help me prove to myself and others that I can do hard things in your name.
That's what you
And
want.
like to prove to myself that I can do hard things is like,
Yeah.
you know, you've heard it. People say life is like a marathon, but it's like, it's
What if
really,
actually implementing
Yeah.
it? I love that shit. Yeah.
I want to try. I want to
Yeah.
know what a marathon's like and
Yeah.
see how accurate it is.
I've been
excited.
crying a lot while I run.
Really
It makes me cry
I was gonna say.
because it's hard.
and you're doing it. So he convinced you to do it, or you found yourself
Okay, so here's
inspired
what
by it?
happened. Yeah, it's like attraction rather than promotion, right? And like I just, well, okay, I'll tell you what. He started doing it, and I was like, I'm never gonna do it. Like I don't want to run. Like I
This is
ran in high
bullshit,
school.
yeah.
I don't want to do this. Like
Is that
good for
right? You did
babe.
cross country or track?
I did long distance, not cross country, but I did track. So I did like
The
long
800,
distance.
the
The 800
1
was
mile.
one of my
Yeah.
things I did. Yeah, I wasn't really keen on the running thing initially. 'Cause I was like, no, I just been smoking. Like,
Yeah.
yada yada, like one thing at a time. Like then I was like, you know, the dog's kind of annoying, so like maybe we should just run him. So I started running just in the backyard. We moved recently to a place that has a big backyard, so like we can do a lot of activities outside. And
Shout out to you for like using the backyard.
right, yeah. I'm like, I literally said like we paid for the backyard.
Yes, you do.
We don't
We
pay
pay
for
in
this.
the drive. We don't really like, we don't pay like more money because it's
Yeah.
like not as like as expensive as like Fairfax.
No, but still, like that's
pay
your
in the
property.
drive.
Might as well make use of it and being outside and stuff.
We play in the garden.
It started gradually. I just ran with the dog at first.
Yeah.
and then that was just like it was just for the dog, you know. And then I was like, you know what? He just kind of kept slowly encouraging me, nudging me, but not anything
Changing the
crazy.
environment, yeah.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. I guess I just one day decided like I'll just do it, and then he was like, oh, this whole like AI app that can help you like organize your
Shout out
runs
to
for
Coop.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Coop
shout out to Coop AI.
And I gave her an ultra running coach.
Yeah, okay.
So
And he
she's
came up with
whether-
your plan, yeah.
So she's using an ultra running coach to train for a 10K.
Okay.
So ultra running is like 50K minimum. So she's using a coach who's like specializes in the 31
Yeah,
to
yeah.
250, 300-mile distance to train for a 6.1 mile race.
But the AI doesn't need to know that part, right?
But
Well, it's just
the
aggressive.
ultimate goal, like his ultimate goal is to do the Hurt 100
Okay,
in Hawaii.
look at the camera when you say it.
His ultimate goal is to do
No,
the
no,
Hurt
your
100.
ultimate goal. Huh?
No, that's your ultimate.
Yeah.
My ultimate goal is to do a marathon
Yeah.
because my grandmother ran a marathon when she was 52 years old.
Shit, yeah. Which one?
Which marathon?
Which
The
one?
Marine Corps marathon.
That's not what you told me your ultimate goal was.
Oh, okay.
Well, like now she's into that space.
The
Now she's
delusional goal is 300 miles.
Well, like-
Arizona.
Monster 300.
The Monster 300 in Arizona. That would be lit.
in the desert.
Yes, to tell someone you ran 300 miles in the desert, that is crazy.
Are you allowed to walk it?
Nuts.
But
People do.
Longer, but
He makes fun of them too, and he hasn't even ran his marathon yet.
You jerk.
Yeah, so much for being nice to people. I'm here to bring the reality.
Oh!
I'm hosed.
No. I feel like when you're
I'm
running
AI anyway.
when you're running it, I can see you guys being like, "Hey, come on, you got this," or supportive and
Yeah.
stuff like that. People cheer each other on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been my biggest cheerleader I've ever had.
It's funny.
No,
She-
you are
she-
his
she-
for sure, because he mentioned you 7 million times.
She did her long run on Monday,
No, hard workout. On
Or-
Monday.
or wha-
Long run on
whatever.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, and she refused to carry water. So I got this vest and I got a 2-liter water. So I was running too, and I would like loop back and like force drink
Yeah,
maker.
yeah.
Like I was
Because
like
I don't
water.
like ingesting foods when I'm running.
I know. Or is that I think jiggling? We know that if it's shaking while you're running.
Wow.
Frozen grapes is good. I know.
Ooh.
When you're running, frozen
Sounds
grapes
so
as
good.
as like a little snack. I feel like once on a run, I found somebody else's Gatorade and I definitely drank 2 sips. I did. I think it was alcohol.
Hey, you need it. You need it.
It's
I
so,
left it there.
I'll say it's so good for my mental health though. Me personally, you know,
The running?
Yeah, it's good. It's like especially if I do it first thing in the day,
Yeah.
is like if I
The frequency is just.
if I run 8 miles before like 10 a.m. before my phone starts going crazy, and I know I have like hard things to do that day, it's like I already did the hardest thing I'm gonna do all day
Yeah.
for sure.
It sets the bar for the day.
Send me the hardest curveball you got. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna fold.
Nice.
So it's helpful.
Oh, well, so it's nice to see you again at the studio. Now you're sort of going on the runners. And today we have your girlfriend here as a special
Yes,
guest. I'm so glad.
Just popped in.
Yes, we love that.
She's working on a book. So.
Yeah, you want to talk about it just for a second? Come on, share.
Yeah, so
Share your thoughts on that.
it's the work started on the book initially when I first got sober in 2023. And I had like a real loose kind of like synopsis of like what the book is becoming. I just kind of like wrote a stream of conscience about all my relationships that I've been in, and I just sort of gave it to my sister and I wanted to read it. It's kind of just a way of like you get sober and like feelings come up and like your past.
You
starts
no
to
longer
kinda-
know.
Yeah, feelings come up. So I just kind of wrote that really organically, and like my sister was the only person that read it, and I didn't really do much with it after that for like, a little while. And then like slowly I started just like journaling things about like current relationships, and then like when I moved into a new place, like I found that when I moved into a new environment, I was able to like kind of I don't know, like it came up again, like that creative bubble came up again. Like I've never really been like actively like going after it, I guess, until kind of more recently.
Yeah.
It was just sort of an organic thing, and it was more just like
It was an
weird
itch.
for
They
me.
had to be scratched. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just about like all my crazy relationships and how it ties in with like my alcoholism and like being sober now. And
Well, like part of one of my lines on the stage is, the best part about speaking to an open mic audience is that they're aware that of their thoughts that convince them that they are a storyteller. And that's sort of built on your purpose. Like you feel that somehow your relationships and your past addiction intertwine. They And it definitely speaks on the choices maybe you made then and the choices you make now.
Yeah.
The gentleman that may come into your life now. Yeah.
He's kind of a big reason that he, just being artist himself, like motivated me to, and inspired me. Like our relationship inspired me too to like want to get back and write the pages of like what a real healthy relationship looks like. You know, we look at that every day to figure out what are healthy boundaries in a relationship, and like both having not, maybe had the best examples in the past.
I would say like for the younger generation that would be so. But you know what? Even the older people that don't really have an idea what a real relationship is, and if you feel like you found something that is much healthier, yeah,
Well,
it's worth sharing. You know what I mean?
we talked about that last time I was over about the younger generation asking AI relationship advice.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's terrifying.
Yeah. The CEO Sam Altman was saying that a lot of these young guys, and who really can give you good relationship advice, to be quite honest. Unless exactly.
My
Exactly.
grandparents who were married for like 50 plus years.
Yeah. Do you wonder like yeah, they've been together and almost like you
Survived.
want to emulate that, but it's like, well, were they really together, or were they just kind of like,
I know what you mean.
posting
It's
it?
like
Yeah.
a different kind of love, that old fashioned like.
Yeah, we have to be together versus
Yeah.
like growing together.
I think both my grandparents really did have each other well.
Yeah.
Have some pretty good examples. I think of
Yeah. Yeah.
And my parents too, even though they have their struggles, I think
They stuck it out, right? Yeah.
And I told them I just want somebody who supports me 100%.
And I told her she's right. Guys, that's the key. She's always right.
You don't always tell me I'm right.
I just got that right now. That he's right. Just keep it that way.
This is AITK.
No, this is the real TK, but AITK looks cool, but
This is
it's
the
AI. It was nice to have you guys in the studio. It's nice to be back.
I'll be
guys.
teaming you again
With Boombacks,
Talk
and
about
and please do join and help out with the
Rise up.
help
show.
build up Rise Up show, the Rise and Shine to Your Purpose show. Coming soon, very soon. Just don't know when, but coming soon. Yeah, and TK will be there for sure.
And as you can see, the audio and video quality is upgraded, so make sure you like and subscribe to Preach with Prak.
To Preach with Prak, and this is a Bravery Healing podcast. Thank you guys.
Love and light.
Love.